Oh, greetings, fellow video game players. How art thou on tis finey night? We're gonna run with it. Finey night. Oh, just delighted to hear such a young fellow as as finey as I. What am I doing? Well, uh, maybe like the only real giveaway was the how art thou. I'm trying to be like old English, mocking old English. Um, Also I gotta make sure that OBS is running well while I do that because I changed more settings so it's more good. Why the intro? Well, you know me. The intro is always like kind of related. And this episode, as you may already be able to tell, it's usually like a giveaway in the title, is about writing. I honestly really do love writing. Just not with my hand, I would rather type, but it's the same thing. Like, welcome to the 21st century. Grandma, let me type my essay. Stupid teacher, I will never forgive you. Miss Garcia, I don't know Miss Garcia, by the way. It's just a fine, it's the, I swear, it's not a real name. Anyway, I genuinely do really enjoy writing. It's like, sort of. Yeah, I would probably call it a passion of mine. Is fun. You just write what I want. I'm not like super creative, as I've said a couple times. I'm not the most imaginative person, but I still think that I write pretty well. Now, there's got to be a reason for the old English reference. The thing about my writing is that, and I like 100%, much like really all of my problems, blame the school system. It's all reading all the stupid old English stuff instead of like stuff in actual English, the cool English, the one that I can speak. They're like so many insane words and sayings and stuff from like the Gothic era that you're taught, and you just like they probably don't want you to actually use what they use to write, especially in like an actual essay. It's more like a type of essay that's supposed to be on a modern article or whatever. They don't really want you to be like, oh, uh, art thou drinking clean tap water? This essay will look into that and whatever. Ouch. So that's the main thing, is that this like school system really got me into like writing like I'm from the 1800s. And I have a feeling I'm not the only one, but if I am, I'm hard leaning into it, to be honest. I'm definitely leaning into it very hard. Like, and I mean, how I write is like very often. I use first of all, I use an insane amount of commas. Like, instead of using normal words that separate and transition other words, I'm like, just like instead of using like and or a or is, I'll be like, here's a comma. Uh-oh, he got me. Trying to think of an example of it that is pretty hard, especially fighting the most difficult boss. Like, okay, here we go. This one's a good example. Aldrich, comma, devourer of gods. Instead of being like, okay, maybe it's not a great example. Please don't kill me. As usually how I'll write things is instead of being like, you know, Aldrich is the devourer of gods, I'll be like Aldrich, comma, devourer of gods. And it's not like his actual title. I'm just trying to like say something about him, and instead I'll just be like, oh, here's another comma. I I I find myself writing very long sentences too. Like one sentence could look like a paragraph, and like in the middle is a semicolon, which nobody except me uses, I'm sure. Nobody even knows how to use. And then there's like five commas it's in on both sides of the semicolon. And nobody stopped me. That's the biggest issue. Nobody stopped me from writing like that. They were just like, ah, sure, it's green like this. Then they're still not stopping me. We have to fight Yorm, or we could go fight Osiris. And like by putting so many commas, it's like super, super weird to read. Even though it's like short, it's kind of easier to write. Is weirder to read. And like the more commas you use, the more commas you use. It's just like it starts stacking on top of each other. It's kind of hard to like fish for a specific example, but I hope this makes sense. Do you use semicolons? I gotta know, cause like really like before I even knew how to use them, I was always like, what does this symbol mean? And then once I was finally taught, I was like, I'm gonna use this like at least once in every single piece of writing I ever make. And I do. I honestly do. And I think I'm the only one because it's already like a niche thing, niche usage, and I feel like not many people would bother. It's the thing with a semicolon is that like you basically put it to replace a sentence. I mean a period, but only if the next sentence is related to the last sentence. And even then, you can always, like, there's almost no situation where you have to use a semicolon over a period. You would have to, like, try to get into that situation. We're gonna break your poise real quick. Uh-oh. Screw it. Alright, don't screw it. Never do that again. And like because of all the old writing, I use like so many stupid versions of words that like have made up like it's made up affixes, prefix and suffixes. Like it was a great obsedence to him to learn such obsedence. It's not a word. I looked it up after using it honestly very recently, and I was like, this is not recognized as a word by Google, but it is in this. He's in the elevator. What? Thanks for the item. Don't mind me. Oh, so like obsedence, you can look it up. It's in like a dictionary, but it's not in Google's dictionary. And you know what? I blame the school system, much like every other problem. And you know what? I'm probably right. What are you gonna do? Tell me I'm wrong? Who else could it be? Couldn't be me. Could not be me. I could just die here. So yeah, at this point I just made like irreversible writing habits. There's not much I can do to repair the damage. Okay, let me go. Let's go get our souls. There's definitely been a couple times where like my writing, even though I can promise you it makes sense, it would confuse the teacher because of the use of commas. And like I only kind of blame them. And I really the only reason I blame them is because they would give me a bad mark. And I mean, it's a teacher. They can make mistakes, but they really don't want to admit it because they're a teacher. Can you blame them? Yeah, I mean, I you could. And honestly, you are allowed to, and I do. That hurts. Osiris, please. Going into battle. And you know what? While we're here, can we talk about like a here's the thing. Using hyphens, also known as the dash, how do you use that in writing? Like in dialogue and stuff, and just in writing in general, really? Not more so in general writing than dialogue. How do you use it, I wonder? Because it's like super informal as far as I know. Oh no. Let me go. Oh no. He's gone. No. No. What? There goes 500,000 souls. Tough. So, how do you use hyphens? Because like ideally, the thing is that is another case where I just put a bunch of commas. Hyphen is like you put it there when you're like, hey, um, the man dash who was very hungry at the time and dash w- lunged at the opportunity to eat something. There you go. That's a sentence that uses a dash. Uh, you're pausing the sentence to give more background information to explain the reasoning. But it's super informal, right? So like I don't think you're supposed to use it in general writing. And I'm always afraid to. Instead of looking it up, I'm just like, well, okay, we're gonna get to that. Instead of looking it up, I'm just like, instead just put a comma there. The man, comma, who was very very hungry, and comma, which is still the same symbol, much like the and dash. But here's the other thing, and I swear this is another issue that's more wrong with like uh I suppose learning than school. Everybody, like all the teachers, teach and learn differently, right? And I think it's very big when it comes to writing, where like you your teacher is gonna have like a totally different perspective on how things, let me go, should be. Like the easiest example is a very stupid one, the Oxford comma. Some teachers are like, doesn't really matter. Some teachers are like, you better use the Oxford comma, and some people are like, don't. If you don't know if you don't know what it is, it's basically just like, I ordered burgers, comma fries, comma and a soda, or it's burgers, comma fries and a soda without the second comma as the Oxford comma, whether you add that or not. Really try to double sip very much. Yeah. Uh, really, there's no established reason for whether or not to use the Oxford comma, and it's stupid. We should just like flip a coin. It's like, okay, you know what? We're not going to use the Oxford comma. Sorry, Oxford. We got tails. Everybody, there would be no more confusion. No more confusion. We can worry about like I don't know global warming maybe. There are bigger issues than it's like I know you have a major in English or whatever. You should still be like, you know what? Gonna worry about saving the world. I don't know. I'll help a scientist write a textbook or whatever. Make yourself more useful than I'm gonna argue about the Oxford comma. You know? I don't really know the issue with it, to be honest. Like I don't actually know if people are arguing that much over it. But I mean, it's like the internet, so there's definitely people arguing about it on the internet. I do not think there are people like going to Congress like, please make an amendment that make a policy that enforces the Oxford comma. I'm begging you. And then, they skip the line and the people that are like, please just save the otters, save the bats. Wait your turn. I have to talk about the comma. It it just doesn't make any sense. Why would you not have a comma when you're listing the thingy? Anyway, back to the original point. There's teachers that are just like they will enforce that and some that just won't care. That's the thing. You don't really it's teachers are like loot boxes. You don't really know what you're going to get and I feel like we really shouldn't have loot boxes for such important points. Let me go. Something as important as learning. You don't really want to like spin a CS:GO loot box, and it's like, oh no, I got a stat track blue Glock. That's not good. At least it's stat track. That's fair. Let me go. Let me go. You're in the door, brother. Oh my. That could have been bad. No, 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 no. Okay, we can dance at the door. That'll be fun. You're leaving. I also feel like it's the same for other subjects. Like history is the one that you don't want it to be like that, and I do think that like both history and science are like most sternly documented that you can't go wrong. Ouch. So like unless your teacher's like purposely trying to push their agenda on you, you're gonna be fine. And what's in the book is what's online, and it's you're learning exactly as you should. The teacher can't really change it. And it's the same with science. So science can be a little touchy because there's gonna be bad sources, and your teacher is is able to pick a bad source. We'll say. I'm gonna start sending the elevator back up. Maybe I should have just fought Yorm. It's okay, because we fought one boss in this episode. It's good enough. No, 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 no. You're gonna make this hard. Don't do it. Okay, he didn't. Let's go. But then there's math. Math, uh, if your teacher is like teaching you their own kind of math, which I do believe is a total like a possibility. You may think math is like super, the numbers are there. There's how could you go wrong? I think your teacher can teach you wrong. And I mean that's the thing. The thing with math is that you can do the formula wrong and still get a number. So if you do the formula wrong, you still get a number, and then your teacher's like, you know what? That's a good number. You pass. Like, okay, I guess I'll just remember that formula, even though it's wrong. And then you go to the next class, it's like, oh my god, what happened? You're every this was supposed to be a practice, just seeing what you remembered from last year, and you got every question wrong. Like, what do you talk about, stupid teachers? This cannot be. Oh, my teacher sucks. She's failing me for no reason. And there you go. That's how they get away with it. Guess we'll sit twice. Ouch. That's fair. I don't think we're gonna fight him again, to be honest. I didn't read that much Shakespeare, to be honest. Like just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think he should learn to just like not start his own language or whatever. It's kind of weird of him. It's like, I mean, apparently he was also like a fraud, and so he hired somebody else to do it. I mean, isn't that like everything? Like, didn't Thomas Edison also a fraud? And he just like bought people's inventions and made them popular, and the inventors were happy because they got paid a little bit and their inventions were popular. I think the only thing Thomas Edison made was the phonograph, maybe, maybe. Anyway, um, kill your idols. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Uh, the school system's bad. Hot take. Could be better. Like the video. Could be better. Goodbye.